So firstly, what do you see on the big word represent? Probably just social media. Well, everything had two sides on its own, and social media is not out of the range. But first, let's talk about the positivity that social media brings to its own users. I'm pretty sure that everybody here has their favorite social media channels. Well, that comes to video content. Well, let me take a viral example that my class have been singing all the time, Mr. Beast. Well, it helps us to entertain after a stressful day of school full of writing tasks, assessment, and now we can actually entertain ourselves. Secondly is edutainment. We can have our own entertainment and education at the same time, which is Dr. Binocs, which is a very viral channel that teachers make us to watch. Well, it is very educational and help us to entertain. Secondly, we can express ourselves and boost up our self-esteem by using live streams. We can express ourselves through emojis. Well, these can boost up our social skills. We can't just put ourselves isolated in the corner of the room doing several of homework. Lastly, I'm pretty sure that all the boys here have their own favorite games. Am I right? So, games like esport. Parent thinks that games are such a terrible thing that make their own child to be obese and fat and actually affect negatively to their mental health. But what about esport? Well, it helps us to keep fit, by the way. So it has been opposing the parent thoughts and changing the perspective. Secondly is information. Just last year, my grandfather was using newspaper to actually keep up with the news. But now he's using an iPhone. He said that an iPhone keep him updated much faster than a newspaper. That comes to news. Well, when it keeps to 1 month for a newspaper to come out, it took 1 minute for you to update. Secondly is courses. Students now need help with their own studies. Math course, debate courses help us to boost up our outstanding results and also progresses. Which means that last year in the first grade, I got a pretty low math score, 5 out of 10, which is the highest score I ever got in the first grade. But after my mom looking on Facebook and found a suitable math class for me, my progress soon grew. Which means that my mom could have been looking at for 5 years later for looking for me a suitable math class, by the way. Lastly, is how social media got its name, socializing. Well, now people who don't have a friend offline, they can have a second opportunity to look for a friend, especially online. And after they make friends, they should have some sharing story with each other. So they cannot have general solution, which means that if their first solution did not work, they can have a second solution to themselves. Lastly, if they don't have a friend online or they can't find one, they can chit and chat with community about a problem, which means that this can also boost up their social skills, not just live streams before. But why do some people still keep the perspective that social media is a terrible thing? Well, these are some major reasons that comes out of people's mind when it comes to social media. Firstly, when there's too many engaging information, courses, news, articles that are related to them, they started to feel addictive. The addictive elements have been coming to them, which means that they can scroll uncontrollably. Secondly is likes and response. They cannot just be subjective, they can also be objective, which means that they can look at themselves and feel like, oh, I'm so bad. And they can look at the others. Why are they so high? This is called the comparison syndrome. And these can also cause by posts. Well, when they have a social media account, they can't just go and scroll. They need to express their self. So they started to have posts, and they started to also scroll from other posts and feels like, oh, these are so related to me. And now they started to be addictive. Secondly is lack of sleep. When they are too addicted from others' posts or just related information to them, they can't just control themselves. They will lose their time management. For example, they want to be a 1 hour time limit, but now it turned into a 5 hour time limit, which means that they cannot control themselves. Or even if they set a timer, well, the timer goes off, they just scroll up and they continue to look at it because there are too many related information. Secondly, is too many interesting posts. Well, not just related information, but also the posts from their friends. They just keep liking, and they cannot control themselves, by the way. Lastly, is likes. For example, if they can't reach their goal at the end of the day, they're still going to continue to look at it. They're going to wait until they get 500 likes to 1,000 of likes. No more school hours to students nowadays. There are bullying everywhere, every corner of the world. 24 out of 7 persistence of bullying. This means that they will always be victims to others. And now when the victim goes on, this causes to the change of bullying. Secondly, is fear to miss out. When you don't have the things that your friends have or your peers have, this is what they may say to you. You are ugly, you are fat. Sometimes they even say that you are outdated. Lastly, imagine you are bullied every day. You are on anxiety. Increasing the excessive use of social media may cause to 11% increases of anxiety, depression on youth. Again, is social media either good or bad? We may use it for information. We may look at courses. We may look at articles. But it could cause to addiction, lack of sleep. So let me take you a formal information or examples. In our school, WASS and social media, we promote the good. Firstly, we have social media channel to promote ourselves to other students. Perform that we have a friendly learning environment that help others to actually adapt in our school easily. Secondly, is school learning portals. After a stressful week, we can't just learn into 70 pages of book. Then our teacher can summarize it with keywords that help us to remember the week better. Lastly, is mobiles app. SBS 360 help teachers confer with students, or basically just parents and vice versa. We demote the bad. So, firstly, we have no mobile devices in class with avoid disruption for some students. Secondly, is prohibiting bullying. Well, we can't just let students bullying each other. Well, we have Peace Day, Pink Day, which is prohibiting bullying all the time. Lastly, is exciting activities. For example, last week, we have also a exciting vacation or just some real school learning, which helps us to approach the reality and not just looking at the books. So is social media either good or bad? It depends on us how to use it. I'll give you an example of how we can use it in a good way. We can promote ourselves, but also it can cause to addiction, lack of sleep, bullying. So keep the question in mind. Is social media either good or bad? It's both-sided. Thank you for listening.